Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Camp's Executive Director Andy Mihailovich and I'm Andrew Cooper up here at Camp Manatawny. Thank you for tuning in today. Just a few minutes with Andy and I to give you some updates on some things going on at camp. So let's jump right in. Andy, can you give us a quick update on recent staffing changes?
Sure. Obviously, the biggest change was Dave Garrett's recent retirement after a year of transition, which was an incredible blessing. Dave is now living in Oregon, and that's a major change. We also had the good fortune, the blessing to be able to hire Matt Richard as our facility supervisor on a part-time basis. We might be able to increase the time that he spends working at camp in the future, but for now it's a part-time basis.
Great.
And for the rest of the staff, Pat D'Amato, who's our executive chef, he's basically not only cooking, but he also does things like leaf blowing and cleaning buildings and scrubbing toilets. Becky, besides being just our bookkeeper, she also does things like inventory of our canteen and sending birthday cards to campers. So it's all hands on deck at camp.
Great.
Yep.
We're so thankful for our volunteer staff, but especially Andy and his team that keeps camp going year round. Thank you guys.
So Andrew, in the same way, what about the recent board changes? Can you tell us about those?
Yeah, a couple things have gone on. Thanks, Andy. Kim Redden, our vice chairman, resigned in the third quarter. Kim was our longest tenured board member when she resigned, serving since 2014. So thank you so much, Kim, for your dedicated service as vice chairman, guiding me and guiding the board and serving in so many other ways. We do miss you, and we will miss your service. And with Kim's resignation, we're pleased to announce that the board has nominated and accepted Tom Sheff from the Tabernacle Church of Christ and Kathy Ashton from the Pittman Road Church of Christ to be our co-vice chairs. So we're so thankful to have them on the team. In addition, we're excited to kick off a new round of prospective board members, and they'll be joining our board meetings and going through some activities starting in January 2021. So we're excited to get to know a new group of folks that could be working with camp in the future.
Absolutely.
Andy, COVID has obviously upended us in 2020. You and your staff have been so resilient. Can you tell us your thoughts around 2021 events? Where do you stand right now with our 2021 rentals and programs?
We had obviously some of our events in 2020, but the big news, of course, was the cancellation of summer camp. It is our very strong intention to have all of our events in 2021 and especially have our regular summer sessions. Obviously, we're going to take whatever medical advice and requirements and guidelines are in place and make sure that we follow those. But it is our intention to have summer sessions.
Great.
Yeah. So in addition to obviously cancellation of events and others in 2020, we also had a huge financial impact. Can you talk a little bit about how that affected camp and how does it set us up for the future?
Sure. With cancellations of summer sessions, our finance team worked very, very hard to continue to manage the budget, balance the budget. Andy, along with Becky, our bookkeeper, worked closely with Brian Roberts, our treasurer, to continually reforecast. Great news is that as of November the 30th, we whittled our deficit down to $45,000. So the board kicked off the Bridge the Gap campaign to help us end the year breaking even. We've come a long way. Thank you so much to the folks that have given so generously already. There's still more time to give to help us end the year with a balanced budget. So again, thank you for so many that have given so sacrificially.
We're more than halfway there.
Almost there, that's right.
Yep.
And Andy, as our programs expand, so many great things are happening at camp. Cabins are on the docket. Can you tell us about our new cabin progress?
Yeah, so you guys have been hearing about the new cabins for a while. It's a very long running project. We're getting into the finishing stretch here. We have a provisional blueprint for the new cabin. We have contracted with a architect and an engineer to prepare the detailed blueprints. We're working with a civil engineer. In fact, this week we're meeting with them to talk about the camp-wide sprinkler system that we have to have in place and the topographic and other overlays that the township requires. And hopefully we'll be able to submit those to builders for final estimates and also to the township for approval sometime in the next few months.
Great. Thanks, Andy.
Yep.
So with everything going on, Andy, you and the entire board felt it was appropriate to call the camp community to a time of prayer. So we announced that on social media, and I know you've gotten several comments. What have you heard from the camp community based on that call to prayer from the board and yourself?
Well, the reason why we did it, obviously, is we're approaching the end of the year, ending a year that had huge uncertainties, and the only way to deal with those uncertainties, because nobody can predict the future, right? But we decided it was time to turn to the Lord, and not only do that ourselves, but engage the entire camp community in that process. And the outpouring of commitment to prayer during the month of November has been tremendous. And we actually saw on a daily basis the evidence that God is at work at camp.
Yes.
Just as we did throughout the whole year, closing out the year with a commitment to God, with hope for the future, was very important, and we appreciate everybody who prayed for us.
Thanks, Andy. So we know that God has protected camp in 2020 despite the many challenges. And we know for many of you, there have been great difficulties. And as we close today, our prayer is threefold. First, that you and your family, your loved ones are healthy and safe and well throughout the rest of 2020. Secondly, we are so hopeful that we'll be able to see you all again face to face, not
That's right.
virtually, at Camp Manitani or other places. And then finally, as I look to a new calendar year, as we look to a new calendar year as a camp community, our prayer is that we as individuals, as our church families, and as an entire nation will follow the guidance from 2 Chronicles chapter 7, that will humble ourselves before God, that will seek His face, and that we will turn away from our wicked ways. And that scripture goes on to say that if we do these things, God will bless us. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you and your families have a Merry Christmas, an excellent holiday season, and a great New Year.
Take care.
Bye.